Cam Ward really needed someone that he can just funnel the ball to.
Being a candidate to win Offensive Rookie of the Year.
If they come out and surprise us, I guess I wouldn't be too surprised by being surprised. I don't know.
Yeah. Hello, welcome to Football X's and O's. We'll be talking about that new Tennessee Titans offense and what could be in store for them for the upcoming season. I'm Ryan Sunudo. Alongside me is NFL expert David Scott. So, David, we'll be talking about the Titans offense. They got a lot of guys, through free agency and through the draft. So there's definitely some intriguing things on that side of the football field.
Yeah, youth movement for sure in Tennessee. They got a lot of new guys coming in to work alongside Cam Ward and now new offensive coordinator Brian Daboll. I think they got a lot to work with.
All right, let's talk about it. Obviously, he just mentioned Cam Ward. He had a rookie season. Wasn't that great in the beginning, but the last couple starts was really good. I think he had a 10 touchdown to 1 interception rate in the last 5-6 games. So talk to me about the additions. They got Wan'Dale Robinson through free agency. Obviously, they drafted Carnell Tate. So some interesting options for the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, I think they're starting to build a nice little offense around Cam Ward. Last year, absolutely no one around him. It's a rough spot to be dropped into when you're pretty much the only member of that offense. But I think now they're starting to get really something going there. I think the Carnell Tate is a great pick. I didn't expect it. I didn't see it coming. But you've got a nice number one option for Cam Ward now. And then you still got Calvin Ridley there, but he's getting, aging up. Probably is a lesser option now. But you bring in Wan'Dale Robinson, got some familiarity with Brian Daboll's system, and he had his first 1,000-yard season last year, so I'm pretty excited about bringing in Wan'Dale Robinson as well. And then you still got Tony Pollard in the backfield. So I think this is a pretty exciting up-and-coming offense, and I think Brian Daboll can work with this to really start developing Cam Ward.
Yeah, last year was just terrible in terms of the receiving corps, so they had to do something. Now, the fourth pick was a little bit early. I didn't think Carnell Tate was going to go that early, but I got to admit, his talent is off the charts. I think he was overlooked at certain points during the whole draft process, but the Titans saw it. They saw that wide receiver group last year. Sure, DK was pretty good last year, Ayumnor as well, but I think Carnell Tate was too good to pass up, and I think he could be that X receiver. We'll talk about him later and what he can bring to the table, but what's the thing that he can bring to the table that could be a number one wideout?
I think he can, use his own abilities, those contested catch abilities, his route running, his hands. But at the same time, I think he can just bring some confidence to Cam Ward. Cam Ward now has an option that he knows is going to be consistent for him, that is going to catch the ball, is not going to have any big-time mistakes. I think they're going to become a really good connection, and I think that's going to help both of their careers. Cam Ward really needed someone that he can just funnel the ball to. Tate is going to get a ton of targets in 2026. And I think that's good for Tate because he's going to get a lot of run to progress and learn in the NFL and show off his skills as to why he deserved to be that number 4 overall pick.
Yeah, again, the offense was brutal early in the season. They bring in Brian Daboll. What did you make of the hire? Obviously, Robert Saleh is the new head coach, and he knows Brian Daboll because he was the Jets coach, Saleh, and Daboll was the Giants coach. So that's very familiar to Saleh, Daboll's philosophy. So what do you see in Brian Daboll and what he can bring to the table?
Yeah, I think this was a great hiring for Tennessee. Daboll had pedigree as an offensive coordinator with the Bills, goes to the Giants, gets them a playoff win. I think a lot of people forget that the Giants didn't win a playoff game under Daboll. And then, sure, things start to fall apart, but, a lot of just crap going on in the New York Giants building. So hard to fault him too much, and he really just did not have an offense to work with. I think now that he can focus on being a coordinator, let Robert Saleh be that leader of men, be the guy who's really charging up the locker room, and then use your offensive mentality to work on something to work with Cam Ward. I think this is going to work out really well for the Titans. I think Daboll can go back to what he liked doing with the Bills. I think he's got more of a style of quarterback that he's going to appreciate than he did have with the Giants. Of course, he did get Jackson Dart in his last year, but obviously he didn't get to do too much with Jackson Dart before he left the team. So I think with Cam Ward, we're going to start seeing Brian Daboll get back to some more exciting looks and just really be able to fully focus on having an elite offense.
And a little bit on Cam Ward. Obviously, early in the season was a little bit tough for him, but that's what happens with rookies. But towards the end of the season, he was looking pretty good. I think he suffered a little bit of an injury towards the end, maybe the last game of the season. But talk to me about Cam Ward and his abilities. What did you see coming out of college, and what you saw last year?
Yeah, well, I saw a lot of growth last year. I think he kind of had his rookie moments here and there. He definitely needed time to adjust to the league. I wasn't so high on Cam Ward out of college. I think I was one of the few people that I just kind of wasn't there for it. But I think he's done well to adjust, to grow, and I'm starting to get more confidence in him. I love his arm strength. I think he's got a really good arm, and I love his accuracy. He's been really, really accurate with the football when it matters the most, and I think that is a trait that is so, so valuable in the NFL, because a lot of these quarterbacks, they have booming arms. They can get the ball downfield, they can run, but sometimes if you're not getting it on the hands, you're just not going to be a great quarterback. I think Ward has used that accuracy well. I think with weapons like Tate, he's going to be able to place the ball in places that no cornerback can get to it, and Tate will come down with those balls. So I think Ward has done well with those traits, and I think now he's adjusting more of the league, getting more confidence, kind of learning how opposing defenses work, and I think it's going to be a nice big step forward this year.
All right, we have the board, so show us what the Titans offense is going to look like for 2026.
Let's take a look at our Tennessee Titans offense now. Obviously, under center, we have Cam Ward, our #1 quarterback, our guy that we took with the #1 overall pick. Out wide, our X-receiver is going to be Carnell Tate. You drafted him at #4 for a reason. He's going to be your #1 option for Cam Ward. Let them build up a nice connection. Our slot receiver, that's obviously Wan'Dale Robinson. He's just got that perfect slot receiver build. Kind of small, very shifty, great hand skills, and I think that first 1,000-yard receiving last year was really excited. I'm a big fan of his, honestly. And then out wide, let's go with Elika Umanor. I think we'll put him as wide receiver 3, but you could put Chimere Dike or
you can mix
Calvin
and match.
Ridley, I guess. Daniel Bellinger, new tight end in Tennessee, connection with Brian Daboll. That's probably why they brought him in. And then we still got Mr. Tony Pollard in our running back position, who had not too bad of a season last year. I think he was
a little bit bumpy in the beginning, but got a little bit better.
All right, so that's our Titans offense. Tate, Robinson, Bellinger, Umanor, DK, whoever you want to put there, Ward, Pollard. What can Brian Daboll do now to utilize this offense? Well, I think you got something exciting here between Tate and Robinson. You now have actual options for Ward to utilize that accuracy, those ball skills. So Robinson, it's going to be simple for him. He's your short receiver. Let's just draw up like an actual play here. So he's your short receiver, middle of the field guy, yards after the catch. That's really what you're getting with Wan'Dale Robinson, yards after the catch. Tate, what do we want from him? Downfield ability. I'm just going to move him in a bit here. Downfield ability, getting down the field, beating our corner, and getting into a position where Ward can find you for a nice chunk play. So let's go for a little post here. Yeah. Why not? Why not? We'll do that. Why not? Stop me. A Umanor, Chimere Dike, whoever you want.
Ridley, maybe.
Ridley. Downfield threats, maybe outside the numbers. Your third option to take a look at when Robinson and Tate are not there. Let's just throw them. I'm going to condense it over here, too. We're a little spread out.
Yeah, a little far away.
Let's throw Mr. Umanor just on a streak down the field. And then Bellinger. Just a little comeback
maybe a little
route.
curl, yeah.
And then we'll let's say it's play action. Yeah. We'll do a little blocking here. You have a complete offense here now. If you look to last year and you just have Elika Umanor, Chimere Dike, the husk of Calvin Ridley trying to make plays out there, Ward either does not have any of his options or just has to bail out of the pocket and go try and do something himself, which he can do. I wouldn't discount Cam Ward's wheels. But now, what do we have? All right, we have our #1 guy right here. Yep. Draw up the play for him, let him get down the field. Cam Ward is going to be working with Brian Daboll, Tate, to find those opportunities to eviscerate opposing defenses, SAT word. All right. If we don't have Tate, we've got Wan'Dale Robinson, our check down guy, to go and get over the middle of the field to the outside all right, that's fine, let's get the ball out, just someone get the football, try and make something out of this play. Bellinger is your tight end, and while he's nothing special at the tight end position, I think he's going to do a good job of either clearing out plays or just blocking in plays. Good option to have on the field. When you don't have a top tight end option, receiving tight end option, just get someone that can block, and that is a huge asset. And then Umanor, Chimere Dike, Calvin Ridley, whoever it is out there, that's your guy where you can just kind of run up some gadget stuff. Send him down the field. Maybe Daboll, I know, is going to have fun with some motions. Maybe we send him across the back, motions like that. Jet sweeps where you come across the front of the quarterback. But these are guys that you kind of just maybe clear out in a sense of not like taking a blocker with you, but clear out as in pull the safety away so that Tate can get some room up here. Your third option in this offense, I don't think Ward is going to be going to all that often with his nice new top 2 receivers, but they're going to be essential for how Daboll game plans this offense.
Yeah, for last year, I think they were one of the worst teams when it comes to wide receiver separation. He's going to have that now with Robinson, with Carnell Tate. Look, Carnell Tate is not a burner. He's not that guy, but he can separate. I think he's very crisp in his routes. So I think Ward is going to have those 2 guys in Carnell Tate, Robinson, but I think especially Carnell Tate. I think he's going to come out of the gate, and being one of the best receivers, obviously rookie receivers, but also being a candidate to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think he's got a bunch of, runway for him to get that award just because of, you look at that receiving room, okay, I do like Robinson. He can get those, quick plays, but man, Carnell Tate against the top cornerbacks, I would bet Carnell Tate to win those assignments.
Yeah, I would certainly say he is one of the favorites, if not the favorite, for that Offensive Rookie of the Year award. And I think his contested catch ability is really what's going to help that, because when you get him, on this post or something like that, up over the middle of the field with the safety in the corner on him, I'm not afraid to, send the ball down the field and say, hey, go up and get it. Like, try and beat him to the ball, because you're not going to beat him to the ball. He's going to get up there, he's going to get his mitts on it, and he's going to come down with it. So I think this connection is going to be one of the best young connections in the game. I think they're going to have it for a long time here, and I wouldn't be surprised if Tate does come home with that Offensive Rookie of the Year award.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about it. Carnell Tate is really good yards after the catch as well, so I really think Cam Ward is going to have a great connection in Carnell Tate. They don't have any primetime games, the Titans, and I think that's what they want. That's what they don't mind. I mean, a lot of these teams that have primetime games, that might not be great for some teams, but they're a team that only won, 3 or 4 games last year. So I think to have Robert Saleh, Brian Daboll, they've been in big markets in New York. I think they can squeak out maybe double those wins. I mean, you got to start from somewhere. I don't think they're going to be a playoff team this year. You still got the Texans in that division. The Colts are always in it. The Jaguars are coming off a great season. It might be tough for them in some games, but I still think that you're going to see some strides.
Yeah, I think this is a team that can fly under the radar a bit, especially with no primetime games. And yeah, I think you're fine with that. But be the underdog. You're the up-and-coming team. Let people overlook you. And I think Saleh is going to instill a good kind of mindset like that into his guys. And yeah, I think you're right that they're not going to be fighting too hard for the playoffs this year. They are in a tougher division now. But I could see them around 7 wins, and maybe they surprise us and rattle off a few more. But the offense is looking better. We're going to have to see it in practice first before we know exactly, but I'm much more confident in this offense. No, I don't think the Titans have a bad defense at all. I think the Titans have a serviceable defense. It's not like you're running a bottom 5 defense like if you're the Cowboys with an incredible offense and a terrible defense. So I think we're a little bit balanced here between offense and defense. I think the offense is going to take some strides. We're going to need some more improvement from the defense. But once that defensive investment comes, which you can do next year now because you're pretty much fully invested in your offense, then I think we're going to take our next step forward. So this year, yeah, maybe we double our win total to around 7 wins. Maybe you get to an 8th win. Year after, then that's your time. You got to be playoff contenders with Ward, Tate, and whoever else you bring in.
Yeah, they're kind of like the Giants, where they both had terrible seasons, and you have a new coach, and there's a little bit of, there's some promise, but I don't think we expect playoffs at the same time. But they even got a couple pieces, I think, on offensive line. So they did make some moves in the offseason like we were just talking about. So I still think that division, it might be a little tough, especially with the Jaguars. But hey, you never know. AFC South is very unpredictable. No one expected the Jaguars to win that division, so you never really know.
I mean, AFC South, every year, whoever you predict to win is not going to win. So if they come out and surprise us, I guess I wouldn't be too surprised by being surprised. I don't know. But yeah, if they come out of the gates and this is an explosive offense and they end up competing for a playoff spot, then yeah, I mean, I could see it because you've got the pieces in place now to try and make that happen, and I think Daboll is going to certainly start putting that into motion.
All right, that's going to do it for Football X's and O's. You can watch us every Monday. We also have other offseason content. Please like and subscribe. Let us know in the comments what do you think of the Titans in 2026. Can they be a playoff team?